Some people view this as more stressful than the 500. The people in the front row, they don't care. They see this as an extra practice session. That's right. It's that time of Speed Weeks. Gatorade Twin 125 action live from Daytona. 17 cars, 2 5-lap sprints, some new paint for the 500. 5 laps, and at the end of the day, we figure out who positions 3 through 34 for Sunday's race on Fox. Some things to note. Sunday, Apollo Moon set a blistering fast lap with a speed of 199.884 Sunday afternoon. He will be joined by Menard's Cup Series. However, there is an issue on Wednesday in which Menard's Cup Series got into an accident. In practice, normally the situation, if any of the front row cars gets in an accident in the Wednesday practice session, or any of the sessions for that matter, and has to go to a backup, that outside line moves up. So this means Grayson Alcebdo will be on the outside pole come Sunday, while the 12 goes to a backup. While we're here, let's take a look at your starting lineup at the end of this. The first race of the 2 5-lap events. In row 1, we have the Lumnar Window Film Chevrolet and the Dow Chemicals Chevrolet. I know I only have one Stewart-Haas Ford. Once I get all 3, they'll be all Fords. So in row 2, we have the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Chevrolet and the U.S. Air Force Chevrolet. Beginning today from row 3, we have the Wix Filters Ford and the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Starting this afternoon from row 4, we have the Lily Diabetes Ford and the M&M's Caramel Toyota. Beginning today from row 5, we have the Aris Internet Modems Toyota and the Blue Deuce Ford. Starting today from row 6, we have the Pennzoil Ford and the Caterpillar Chevrolet. In row 7, we have the 5-Hour Energy Toyota and the Dustless Blasting Toyota. Row 8 finds the Fastenal Ford and the DeWalt Power Tools Toyota. And finally, starting this first race from the rear of the field, we have the BB&T Chevrolet. Weather here, compared to Sunday, different. Overcast skies in the area. There is a chance of a possible shower to pop into the area. As we get further into the day, showers may not be a concern until the end of race 1. So there may be a possible delay to the start of race 2. So make sure your guys are aware of that. How this will work is, I mentioned earlier, the front row is locked in unless one of them has gotten into an accident this week. Menard's Cup Series got into an accident Wednesday, the afternoon practice on Wednesday. So this meant he's going to a backup, so this means Grayson Alcebdo will be on the front row. This is the first lane races, all the drivers from the first lane inside lane for Sunday. 17 cars in this race, 17 cars in the second. Pace car is pulling off. We're underway at Daytona. Here's our new cam that is actually is very similar to what you see on the highway, which is what will be used in both in all of the races on NASCAR on Fox this year. As these drivers roar down the backstretch and bring their cars up to full speed. You are going to see them come at you. It's like the plan for the 88. Drop back, bud. Drop back. Oh, looks like the 9's popping out of line. And I think... Alright, nope. 88's going to be dropping back right here. Is going to work again, this one. And, yep, that was the plan. The 88 popped way out of line. To drop back and work with the 9 of Jacob 2 for Sunday's race. Steve. Well, Mike, Apollo Moon, I was talking with Jacob 2 early this morning before we came in here. He said, we've just been terrible in speed all week. When we rolled out the car for Thursday, for Sunday, we qualified 9th. And yesterday in the afternoon session, we were terrible. Terrible in the pack, terrible in single car draft. So, Alan Gustafson made wholesale changes to this team. And so far, I believe the beginning of that plan is starting to come into fruition. We got a nice little mix-up for the lead. Everybody's staying pretty tight. And this is a thing we're going to bring up. We've brought up pretty much all of Speed Weeks is when drivers lock bumpers. Unlike in the Monster Energy Cup Series where locking is a strict no-no, here they play it loose a little bit. The question with locking on in these big groups, these big 15, 20 car groups that we're going to be using Thursday as Thursday is going to be considered a preview of. Is you see how tightly knit that group is. So you see the 4 guys up front. You might think, oh, they're cool. They're getting away from the field. Nope. One slip between any of those 4 cars, and that could spell disaster for the other 13 behind them. We're on board with Joseph Lombard. He's shoving the 3 of Jonathan Morrison. I talked to him Wednesday. He said he's feeling ready this year, with his brother on the new Levine Family Racing, the second duel. And with all them being aligned with Richard Childress, it can be a really big story. Oh, trouble! 2 cars around. 1 in the wall, 1 in the bottom of the racetrack. Hold the brakes, bud. Hold the brakes. Hold it. Down. Oh, looks like we got a 3rd car spinning in that. That's the 83. .31's also involved as well. Luckily, 31 got going. Caution comes out. And amazingly, all 3 cars that were involved in this, that little slide drama, are still running. The 43 was pushing a little too hard, and the air came around. And I was afraid the pack was going to catch the 3 and we were going to have more than the 3 cars that spun. But luckily we got out of it unscathed the way we did. Jonathan Morrison, the bad luck kid of this series. He hasn't had much success since season 4, actually. More like the end of season 3, he hasn't had much success. Everybody in that little slide all over, that little brief slide got their damage repaired and fixed. Everyone's going to be back in the line for 2 laps to go here in scheduled distance. It's very rare to see these dual races not go without a lot of wrecks. It's usually this one's the calm one and the other one is the crazy one. We might see some craziness here, especially for people trying to improve their start positions, which increases the likelihood for the big wreck. Sports KFC Cup Series in the 14, lining up on the inside. He will line up 5th on Sunday. He is currently scheduled to line up 5th. A win here will boost him up to starting in row 2. But what about any of the rest of this group? They want to win. 2 laps to decide it at Daytona. Here we go. Boy, I don't like this little move here. Robert Smith trying to block. Up the 9, and around he goes. Still green. We are still greening. Now the caution. Still green here. Now the caution comes out. The 9 got going. Still green. Actually, no, we're still green, guys. Got a nice battle for the lead. 88 to the outside. Bringing the 20 with him. No, the 20 cuts back. Oh, if we make it to the white flag without a hitch, we have a race. And the white flag waves here at Daytona. Now is where patience is going to be tested. Look at Jonathan Morrison up in the top lane with the 43 pushing him. Hey, these were the guys that are involved in the last caution just a few moments ago. Backs up to the 88. KFC Cup Series continues to pull ahead. He's got a big shove from the 17, from the 16. Brendan Little trying, will he make anything happen? We race down the backstretch, still side by side. Coming through 3 and 4, this could be it here. Brendan Little gets by, he gets past the 4. Will he do it? Coming up line, slinks to the outside. It's KFC Cup Series by an inch. As we got cars all spinning in the grass here. And checkers. It's like we got a couple cars. Spinning around. Caleb Hoffman in the 19 is one of them. He slides way up out onto the racetrack. He makes heavy contact. The wall. Hot Wheels 44 coming to rest on the apron. Ugly way to end this race. Actually, Caleb Hoffman coming down on apron and grass. A 4-wide rush to the finish. At the end of Duel 1 on a wild restart. I have a feeling the 9 may want to have some words with the 2. Who, after what happened that sent the 9 to the apron, and how NASCAR surprisingly didn't call the yellow. And then coming to the checkers, like the 2 got down on the flat trying to make a move. And it just tipped the 19 and the 31. Both cars basically slid across both lanes of traffic. Heavy shot for the 19 though, so that's Caleb Hoffman's possibly second backup car. Hot Wheels 44 can get his car repaired in the 31. However, it might be terminal. So right now we have 2 cars going to backups. And another race. And if the end of this one was any indication, we're going to see some crazy racing this afternoon. Here are the unofficial results. At the end of this one. And moments ago, things got a little heated between the 9 and the 2 down in pit lane. Are you that stupid? We're barely halfway up to speed and you just fucking wreck us. You just fucking turn down and spun us. What the hell, dude? Better watch it. Watch it Sunday. Ooh boy. The season hasn't even started. We may possibly have tempers brewing in the first duel race. Wow. This second race is going to get wild. You see the cars for the second race being staged in the infield right now before we clear things up about the first event. You saw the results. Jacob Tube taking who is caught walking back by Chris Devoto. So, Jacob, you had a decent car, but got ran over at the end amidst a crazy finish. Can you tell us what happened? Just got ran over. I mean, we're barely halfway up to speed on a restart, and the 2 just goes over. He knows I'm there. And it's not just his fault I'm pissed. It's everybody's fault that we race like a bunch of idiots. Where, one wrong slip and you can basically end a good majority of the field, yields day, and possibly send a bunch of people in a backup car for a Daytona 500 for the biggest race of the year. Here, because we got a bunch of idiots out there. But it's not his fault. It's NASCAR making these crazy rules, send us down here and making us all race like a bunch of idiots. I mean, there's really not much you can do at this point. So, best we can do is move on and prepare for the 2 Friday practices. Thanks for your time, Jake. Now, as you look to the skies, we did talk about this earlier in the pre-race. You look up to the skies, and you look on the radar, and you see the cars are being brought out right now, but they are holding off on the start in a few moments, as it's a little past 2:15 here on the East Coast, locally to the track here at Daytona. So there may be a pretty strong ability that this second dual race may possibly face some delays in this one. So again, KFC Cup Series has won on this race. Won the first dual race. Dylan Murray will be joining the guys down in the Hollywood Hotel. He will be joining Chris Myers and Michael Waltrip down there, providing insights on the race as it unfolds. Meanwhile, as we look at the rest of our NASCAR on Fox schedule, Sunday, biggest race of them all, the Daytona 500. Then we go out west for a Diamond in the Desert fight at Vegas, always a fun sight. Then we go further out west to California, big 2-mile racetrack. Then we go back to NASCAR's roots, North Carolina, which got repaved last year, so I'm sure they have tried to smooth out the track and any concerns. They are going to run a tire test Tuesday. They actually ran a tire test earlier this month for that race. And then we got to some changes are noted in the schedule, especially in our half. Yeah, Brighton, which was typically our first nighttime race on FX, is now going to be moved to end of spring break, short track battle on Fox. Sorry, beginning of spring break, short track battle on Fox. Always fun going out to Brighton, Colorado for some short track racing. And then we got to go out to Texas for a Lone Star Saturday night fight on FX. And then Bristol, Bowman Gray, another Saturday night race. I remember as that track got sold out. Then Talladega, Richmond, the road course in Boulder, and then the race down in, then the All-Star race, the race on Friday, and the Open on Friday, and the big race on Saturday. There are rumors that it might go to a Saturday night, possibly. Rumors that race possibly may go to a Friday night this year. Just provide one big day of racing. And then you got the race down in the road course race in Brighton, the Memorial Day Classic. Then Michigan, Pocono, Chicagoland, which is typically a late summer race, moved to June this year and became a day race on FX. And then we end our season with a little bit of Roval action, but not the Charlotte Roval, Pikes Peak Roval. That one is rumored to be a tight one. Height 1, expecting a lot of torn up race cars. This should be interesting to watch that race play out. That is the entire slate of races on the NASCAR on Fox schedule. Hopefully, coming up in a few moments, we'll be seeing the second dual race take off here from Daytona. But first, we're going to go to a commercial break and a message from your local, from FX. You're watching NASCAR on FX.